Hello and welcome to Vlogmas Day 12. So today I had to run some errands. I am working on this pair of overall dresses, and it has these buckles that attach to buttons on the front, like most overalls do. And I had initially bought this type of hardware with this color because I thought it went great with the mustard. But it turns out that these clip buckle type things that regulate the height of the strap, they just weren't wide enough. So when I was threading the strap through there 4 times, it was just a mess and I couldn't actually move it. So I decided to go back to Pacific Trimming, which is where I got it, and get a wider one. Unfortunately, they didn't have these in a wider, so not wider this way, but wider this way. They didn't have it in any of that size. So I ended up having to get a whole new set of hardware, which is now silver, but the buckle here fits my strap perfectly all the way around, and it's pretty great. And it's not the color that I would have wanted for this mustard, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and finished is better than perfect, and this is just fine. So now I'm about to start hammering some jean buttons onto this. This is the big part of the overalls, and that, my friends, is a process. So let's get started. So I've already marked where I want the buttons to go, and so I'm going to take an awl and first do a small hole from the front so that I know how to or where the placement is from the back, and I go back in and make that hole big. And once I've done that, I have these buttons and the backs. Take them all out, put the back of the button in there, and get ready to hammer. This part is great to like air out all your frustrations. You just put the button on here, and I like to not hammer the button because I don't like to damage it. So I make sure to hold it in place, turn it over, hold, and hammer. Nice and good on there. Let's test this thing before I go on hammering the other button. Ta-da! It works. So I'm gonna do the other button, and then after I do the other button, I have to do the buttonholes on the side. So this is the side slits, and hammer 4 more buttons, 2 on each side after that. Alright guys, so I've attached the buttons here, and I've just sort of pinned the sides to mark button placement, and I do not love it. So I think this one is going to go into the unfinished pile for now. I really don't think this shape suits me. I think it's a little bit big on the waist. I'm looking in the mirror here, even though I sized down. So yeah, and sometimes that is okay. Sometimes it's okay to not finish things you're not loving. Don't finish things just for the heck of it. If I went to finish this, I will have already wasted not just the materials for the fabric, but also the hardware that I haven't attached yet, which is pretty pricey. So yeah, it's a bummer because I took a lot of care with this to make it look very nice. But not all is lost today. Today I also went back to the Alison Oliva sample sale because I was looking for the shoes that I bought in a different size. They didn't have them, but I didn't strike out. Let me show you something. I bought this glorious rose gold puffer coat. It has a hood that I will probably never use because I don't like hoods. But let me tell you that I am closer and closer to my long-term goal to never wear boring coats again. And yes, I know that the jacket is pretty extra, but so am I. But the real reason, aside from loving it, that I bought it, is that I really do have a long-term goal to never wear boring coats again. I live in New York City, and New Yorkers tend to dress pretty monochromatically anyway, but in the colder months, if you look around, it is a sea of black and a sea of gray, and it is depressing. Days in winter are already pretty gray and pretty grim, so why not add a little bit of color into your life and wear something gold or bright blue or hot pink? I personally love color, and I think that is one of the big differences between most New Yorkers and me. And yes, I was not born in New York, but I was born a New Yorker. But also people in academia, especially women, and I'm about to get a little bit political here, but there is still this sense, hold on, I'm very hot, let me take this off. There is still the sense in academia that women need to dress a certain way to be taken seriously, and that means dark colors, suits, no makeup, so you don't look like you're trying to be a woman. And I personally refuse to play that game. When I presented, first of all, when I presented at conferences, I have dressed colorfully because that is just who I am. Hello, look at my shirt. But also to make a point. To make a point about the fact that just because I like to wear things that are colorful and things that have lots of flowers on them doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing. I in fact do know what I'm doing about 5% of the time. But in all seriousness, there is so much in academia that already makes women and really other minorities fit into these tight little boxes that doesn't allow for creative expression, doesn't allow for an expression of yourself. And I find that to be like so 1900s, and I am over it. So yes, I dress colorfully, and I do hope to never have to wear a black or a gray coat again after I replace the two that I have. I think in my lifetime I've had maybe 2 black coats, both out of necessity. So yes, that's why I have the gold coat now and the hot pink coat from a few days ago. And another thing, I think with New Yorkers and dressing in dark colors, especially black and gray, one is style. I think that is just a style of so many people here, but also out of necessity. If you ever go look at coats at, I don't know, say Burlington Coat Factory, although I guess they changed their name now, but if you ever go look at a place that sells coats, so many of the coats, especially the heavy winter coats that you need, are in dull colors, and it is depressing. So yes, I do have a rose gold puffer jacket now, and yes, I do have a hot pink teddy coat, and yeah, so hopefully one day I'll be able to replace my black and my gray puffer coats, and then I will be set. But with all that said, I think I'm gonna end this here today because I have bored you already probably too much with my gender, political, academic, and clothing fail talk. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!